Right now, we're learning new information about an officer-involved shooting in Madison last week as the investigation continues.
In the aftermath of that shooting, Madison's police chief is pushing for police body cameras for the Madison Police Department.
Also, a new push to mandate school resource officers as the Madison School District sees an uptick in school violence. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. We're learning more information about last week's officer-involved shooting in Madison. The Dane County Sheriff's Office confirming the identity of a man injured in the incident.
They also say federal agents were involved in the case. 38-year-old Quadrin Wilson was hospitalized after suffering non-life-threatening injuries in the incident. He has since been released from the hospital and is being held in the Dane County Jail. Wilson's family and attorney say Wilson was shot 5 times in the back and was unarmed at the time of the incident. No law enforcement agency has shared any information about the number of shots fired or who fired those rounds. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says they were not involved in the shooting, while the Madison Police Department says no officers there witnessed the shooting itself. Meanwhile, Madison's police chief says body camera video could have greatly benefited this investigation.
He is now asking for a body camera pilot program for his department. Chief Sean Barnes says that program calls for 48 body cams for officers in the city's North District for 1 year. A community meeting will be held on Thursday to discuss the program further. Barnes says this type of technology is very beneficial, especially when it involves officer-involved shootings.
When our public demands to know what happened, it's our responsibility to be able to demonstrate that consistent with the law. And I really believe that in both instances, having body-worn cameras would have been an opportunity for the leader of whatever agency is conducting that investigation or whatever agency was the principal in that investigation to be able to show at least some of the video.
Chief Barnes says most Madison officers are in favor of the cameras after seeing how they've worked in other cities. Well, let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti out on the weather patio. Gary?
It was a milder day today, and temperatures will also be mild for tomorrow before it turn a little colder on Thursday. Let's start out by taking a look at visible cloud track. We've had a mix of sun and clouds today, but more clouds are out to our north and west. There's some light precipitation, mainly in the form of some flurries or some drizzle, which really isn't detected that well on Doppler track. Low temperatures this morning started out in the mid to upper teens, and high temperatures so far have been in the upper 30s. In Madison, a couple places have touched the 40-degree mark, including Janesville. Right now, temperatures are still in the upper 30s, and with the cloud cover tonight, we should only fall into the lower 30s and then see temperatures hold steady overnight. Best chances for flurries or even a little freezing drizzle will be late tonight into tomorrow morning. Then we'll just see some flurries and drizzle during the day tomorrow with a mild high of 38 degrees. Later on, I'll take a look at our prospects for any accumulating snow, especially Thursday night into early Friday morning.
All right, Gary, thank you. Schools nationwide steadily added more police officers throughout the early 2000s. Then came the data. It was leading to more student arrests.
In 2020, schools in Wisconsin and nationwide started rethinking school resource officers, with Madison and Milwaukee terminating their contracts. Now that push could be reversed, as our Naomi Coles reports. Naomi?
This is a Republican-authored bill that would mandate school resource officers, but under certain conditions. Now, the bill would also introduce money to help pay for it using COVID relief funds. Now, this bill is circulating for sponsorship right now in the legislature, and it would require a school district to get an armed SRO if there were 100 violent incidents and at least 25 arrests among students in one semester. The bill author says that's to help get patrol officers back onto the streets instead of responding to schools.
Those officers are being called to these schools sometimes 10 times a day, and we need them out on the street.
I think this bill is a disconnect and takes away from supporting our students and instead reinforces the racial disparities that are a result of defunding education.
Representative Francesca Hong, whose district includes several Madison schools, says student voices should be centered in this debate. And they tell her they want mental health support, not necessarily more police. Now, all of this comes as Madison districts reckon with an uptick in violent fights in their high schools this year.
Naomi Coles live at the Capitol. Naomi, thank you. State Republicans are putting forth an abortion ban in Wisconsin, similar to what was passed in Texas last year. The bill would prohibit anyone from performing an abortion once a fetal heartbeat is detected. That's usually around 6 weeks. The mother would not face penalties, but an abortion provider could be sued. Governor Evers is almost certain to veto the measure if it reaches his desk.
Republican and Democratic state lawmakers sat down today to discuss the future of medical marijuana in Wisconsin. A Republican bill introduced earlier this year would not allow patients to grow their own product and would only allow for marijuana oils and patches. It would also prohibit smokable products, something Democrats say is the fastest way for patients to get relief.
We want to make sure that we don't leave anyone out and that the medical marijuana aspect does what it's designed to do.
We need to start the conversation, let the public weigh in on it, and come out with the best piece of legislation at the end.
Democratic Representative Lisa Subeck of Madison says Wisconsin would benefit from a well-regulated marijuana marketplace and tax benefits the system can provide. Republican leaders are proposing benefit reform bills that some argue would strip health benefits away from people. Assembly leaders held a hearing today to discuss those measures. Republicans say the bills would impose stricter rules on who can receive Medicaid benefits. The proposals would redetermine people's eligibility for medical and other public assistance programs.
Now is the time to get back to work and get our economy opened back up. And the way we do that is by ensuring that anyone who is able-bodied and receives unemployment benefits, that they have to do work search requirements, because there is opportunity galore in the state of Wisconsin right now.
Meanwhile, many physicians are upset with the proposals. They believe the bills would restrict medical access to patients.
As physicians, we strongly urge legislators to help more people get health care, not threaten to take it away from our fellow Wisconsinites or make them jump through hoops to get medical treatment that could potentially save their lives.
Dr. Helms also said some people may be prevented from working a certain number of hours if they're taking care of a loved one or don't have child care or safe transportation. COVID taking a toll on the Olympic dreams of some of the athletes competing in Beijing. Keeping the virus out of the tightly controlled Olympic bubble has proven to be quite the challenge there. But even with mandatory masks and daily PCR tests, some athletes are still catching COVID. Team USA figure skater Vincent Zhou's positive test forced him to pull out of the individual event, ending his quest for gold.
I've already lost count of the number of times I've cried today.
I can't make the pandemic go away for the duration of the games. The pandemic is real and the risk is real.
Medical experts expect COVID cases to start tapering off now that most competitors have arrived there in Beijing.
Retired Pope Benedict XVI is asking for forgiveness for any grievous faults in his handling of clergy sex abuse cases. But in a letter, the former pontiff has also not admitted to any wrongdoing. Sex abuse survivors say his response reflects the Catholic hierarchy's permanent refusal to accept responsibility for sexual abuse of children by priests. Today, the parents of a school shooting suspect appeared before a Michigan judge to face their own charges. James and Jennifer Crumbly face 4 counts each of involuntary manslaughter for November's deadly shooting at Oxford High School. They're accused of gifting their son Ethan a gun while ignoring signs of mental instability and not locking up the weapon properly. Ethan Crumbly is expected to plead guilty to murder charges by reason of insanity. Police in Minneapolis have arrested the 17-year-old cousin of Amir Locke on second-degree murder charges. Mickey Camden Speed is the person that police were looking for when a SWAT officer shot and killed Locke during a no-knock arrest warrant. Speed was wanted in connection to the January 10th killing of Otis Elder. The death of Locke has sparked protests and prompted an examination into the use of no-knock warrants.
U.S. intelligence says Russian President Vladimir Putin has assembled 70% of the military personnel and weapons it would need for a potential full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Chris Wen tells us European leaders are stepping up efforts to de-escalate the crisis.
Tensions are rising by the day as Russia builds up military forces around Ukraine.
The risk for an attack is going up.
Europe now ramping up its efforts to defuse potential conflict, even as the United States has warned that a Russian attack on Ukraine could be imminent. Shuttle diplomacy all aimed at lowering the temperature.
And we also see the threatening rhetoric, the very strong rhetoric from Russia saying that we need to give in to their demands.
In Kiev Tuesday, French President Emmanuel Macron visited his Ukrainian counterpart Vladimir Zelensky following a 5-hour meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin a day earlier. The Kremlin has repeatedly denied it is planning an incursion, but argues that NATO support for Ukraine constitutes a growing threat to Russia.
We stand for the deoccupation of our territory. Today's support for Ukraine from our partners in terms of strengthening our defense capability is a win-win for the whole region.
Also at issue, an 8-year war between Ukraine and Russian-backed separatists in eastern Ukraine. Russia has accused Ukraine of failing to implement the 2015 peace deal known as the Minsk Agreement, whereas Ukraine says implementing it on Russia's terms could destabilize the country.
Of course, there is a real danger, but we continue to work for a political solution.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he, too, is planning a trip to Moscow to speak to Putin in an attempt to avoid war. Up next at 5, a massive truckers' protest over COVID mandates continues in Canada.
Coming up, how the protest, could cause supply chain issues here in the U.S. And later, the Super Bowl is just days away. A record number of people will be placing bets on who they think will win. We'll break down the numbers at 6.
Strong Tuesday of trading on Wall Street. The Dow surging more than 371 points. The Nasdaq climbs 179. S&P adds 38. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's me, Tracy Turnblad from Hairspray. Broadway's Tony Award-winning Best Musical is back. Don't miss Hairspray
at Overture, February 22nd through 27th. Tickets at overture.org. President's Day is the best time to buy furniture, and Slumberland Furniture is having one of their biggest sales of the year.
Wow. Wow is right.
Deals up to 50% off throughout the store. Find a great accent piece, a warm fireplace, an amazing recliner. Incredible deals throughout the store. See why this is one of the best times of the year to buy furniture. The huge President's Sale at Slumberland Furniture. And for your new mattress, come to Slumberland Sleep Solutions, where we've reinvented mattress shopping.
As you remodel, don't toss your cabinets and appliances. Donate to Habitat Restore. Give your items a second life while proceeds build Habitat for Humanity homes. Donate today. Habitat Restore, Dane County.
Guys, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, Peak Performance for Men has a natural solution that can help you today. That's right. Stop wasting money on pill after pill that just masks your ED. Fix it for good. We can make the difference. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Hey everybody, it's me, Tracy Turnblad from Hairspray. Broadway's Tony Award-winning Best Musical, and we're dancing our way to your city. Don't miss Hairspray
at Overture, February 22nd through 27th. Tickets at overture.org.
Tonight at 6, a new Republican bill would mandate SROs in some Wisconsin schools, and it has Madison and Milwaukee as its targets.
And we'll take you to the grand opening of a new children's museum, where it is, and what you can expect when you visit. We'll see you at 6.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team advocates for you, asking the right questions.
Yeah. You hope to make that right.
And getting results.
They sent a water heater the next day after you made the call.
Call for Action, only on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The National Archives says it has obtained 15 boxes of presidential records that former President Trump took with him after he left the White House. The records were found at the Mar-a-Lago Resort in Florida. The Presidential Records Act requires all documents be transferred to the archives from the White House at the end of each administration. According to former White House officials, Trump would frequently tear up documents and other reading materials, which made it hard for officials to preserve the paperwork. The former president's representatives told the archives they are continuing to look for additional records. Well, it is week 2 of a massive trucker protest against COVID restrictions. Protesters are now blocking one of the busiest border crossings in North America.
The blockade threatens a number of supply chain disruptions. Daryl Forges has the latest.
A convoy of trucks and cars impeding access to the busiest international land border crossing in North America.
We're asking for our freedom. That's all we want.
The so-called Freedom Convoy now entering week 2 of protest. Honking at all times of the day, the group demanding to be heard. Saying they won't leave until vaccine and mask mandates are gone.
This whole event has gone beyond just vaccines, and it is now about the entire ordeal.
Ottawa police say part of the road to the Ambassador Bridge outside of Detroit is closed, making traffic across the Canadian border chaotic and clogging a major supply chain artery. Ottawa police also say they've received reports of assaults, intimidation, and allegations of hate symbols and speech related to the demonstration.
This remains, as it was from the beginning, an increasingly volatile and increasingly dangerous demonstration.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who just returned from a week-long isolation after battling COVID-19, urged Canadians to stay vigilant.
Canadians know the way to get through it is to continue listening to science, continuing to lean on each other.
I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
Now, Ottawa's mayor has declared a state of emergency and the police chief is calling for outside help. Meanwhile, another border crossing between Alberta and Montana is also fully blocked by protesters, that according to Alberta police. The White House has officially begun the process of choosing a new Supreme Court nominee. Sources confirm officials have started reaching out to potential candidates, but no in-person meetings have taken place just yet. As part of the vetting process, the FBI has also started contacting friends and former colleagues of these potential picks. President Biden still has about 3 weeks left of his self-imposed deadline to announce his nominee.
The White House kicked off a day of action today to call on all eligible Americans to file their taxes in order to receive the child tax credit as well as the earned income tax credit for 2021. The monthly benefit has already expired, but now some lawmakers and family groups are demanding its renewal. The child tax credit was part of last year's American Rescue Plan pandemic relief law, and it included 6 months of payments per child for those under the age of 17.
We absolutely need the child tax credit to continue so parents can go to work, so children can thrive, so people can earn living wages and move our country forward, and also address the rising costs.
Passing an extension would require the support of all 50 Senate Democrats, but West Virginia's Joe Manchin has voiced opposition, saying that it should include a work requirement. Meanwhile, some parents might notice a smaller refund this year because of that American Rescue Plan. The IRS has sent letters to families breaking down how much money in child tax credits they received last year. Parents now have to determine the remaining amount of credit they can claim on their tax return this year.
Well, let's get a look at your certified most accurate weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with your forecast. Gary?
Temperatures were milder today and will stay in the mid to upper 30s for tomorrow. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. There also could be some flurries or maybe a little patchy freezing drizzle overnight and perhaps a little bit of drizzle during the day tomorrow. Temperatures will drop to just below freezing later on tonight and then probably hold nearly steady before rising above freezing early tomorrow morning. Look for temperatures in the upper 30s for both tomorrow and for Friday. In between, Thursday will be a little bit colder with high temperatures in the upper 20s. And then we'll see a more prolonged period period of cold weather from Saturday through Monday of next week before temperatures rebound for Tuesday and Wednesday. Over the next 10 days, notice those temperatures still in the upper 30s for tomorrow, dropping back to the upper 20s on Thursday, upper 30s for Friday, and then pretty cold for the weekend. Temperatures near normal for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, and then a little colder for the end of next week when there are the chances at least for some light snow. Now on Doppler track, you can see a little precipitation trying to show up on radar. Some of this could be in the form of flurries, some of it could be in the form of some drizzle or freezing drizzle, but the precipitation for the most part is pretty light. Our temperatures are warmer than they were yesterday. That mild air still out to the west of us where there's very little or no snow cover on the ground. Temperatures there in the 50s, but compared to yesterday, our temperatures are up a good 15 to 20 degrees in our part of the Midwest. On weather track, the jet stream is flattened out a little bit. There's a little bit of a buckle in the jet stream that will bring in slightly colder air by Thursday, but before that happens, temperatures tomorrow will still be in the upper 30s. And notice the weather systems coming in from the northwest. Again, not a lot of moisture. That's why we're not looking at much in the way of precipitation. Friday, late Thursday night, Friday morning, there could be some light snow, but even that isn't going to amount to very much. You see a weak cold front coming through. It's more of a wind shift than anything else. Temperatures tomorrow will be about the same as today. A little more potent cold air mass is located just north of the U.S.-Canadian border, and that will drop in for Thursday. Temperatures right now mainly in the 30s across the state. A few upper 20s in far northern Wisconsin, but some 40s out to the west of us. And on future track, you can see a couple of flurries, some drizzle or freezing drizzle tonight into tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, that will come to an end. Thursday, those winds shift around to the northwest. That drops temperatures into the upper 20s. Then here comes that snow for Thursday night into early Friday morning before changing to a chance of rain showers on Friday as temperatures climb up into the upper 30s. And then a shift back to the northwest, and the winds drops in colder air for the weekend. The snow on Friday, Thursday night, Friday morning, not very much, less than an inch here. But a more important storm system perhaps in the Tuesday through Thursday time period next week. Bears some watching. At least one of the computer models indicates the potential for a couple of inches of snow at that time. For tomorrow, though, look for a high of 38 degrees. We'll see some drizzle, freezing drizzle, or some flurries depending on the temperatures. Most of the time, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 30s and mainly just drizzle or a couple of flurries. Colder on Thursday, Friday back up into the upper 30s, and then temperatures mainly in the teens for Saturday and low 20s for Sunday. Valentine's Day will be a cold one. Temperatures will be warm enough for another storm system with perhaps some light snow toward the middle of next week. As we take a look at first warn traffic, there's the view of the Beltline at Park Street. Traffic moving pretty steadily in both directions. Not seeing any major issues, just a minor slowdown westbound on the Beltline around Fish Hatchery Road, eastbound around Monona Drive. Travel times right now about 16 to 17 minutes either direction on the Beltline between University Avenue and I-3990. Heading out of Madison, 24 minutes from the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990 southward. US 12 Middleton to Sauk City is a 16-minute trip. Downtown to Sun Prairie, East Washington Avenue, and US 151 will take you 18 minutes. That's your news 3 now. First warn traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary. The Oscar nominations are out for the 94th Academy Awards. Find out which movies made the cut when we return.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
We're USA Insulation, and our premium injection foam turns your cold and drafty house into a warm and toasty home. Call now and save $500 on whole home insulation.
USA Insulation.
Some numbers are thrilling. Some impressive. Some just right. After an accident, there's one critical number. The number that helps you get your life back by factoring in your needs for today and tomorrow. That's where Habish and Rotier's numbers really add up. With over 90 years of client successes and 13 offices to help you wherever you are. No other personal injury law firm is better suited to get the amount that's right for you.
Important healthcare announcement. If people tell you your TV is too loud, or if listening in some environments has become difficult, we are requesting your participation in a special program called the 30-Day Challenge. Hearing Life Hearing Centers are seeking people with hearing difficulties to evaluate a new digital mini hearing aid now being released. To take part in this event, you must call. Please get a pencil and write down the number below. All people with hearing aids or hearing difficulties are wanted to take part in the 30-Day Challenge, evaluating a new high-tech device that sits discreetly behind your ear. This hearing aid is Bluetooth enabled and is rechargeable. All hearing assessments are performed at no charge for those taking part in the challenge. Participants will try these hearing aids for 30 days. Call the number below and take the Hearing Life 30-Day Challenge.
If you're hungry and you want a great deal, the Super Slam is your perfect meal. It's pancakes, eggs, sausage, bacon, and hash browns. It's enough breakfast for dinner, and it's as good as it sounds. See you at Denny's.
My daughter has type 2 diabetes, and lately, I've seen this change in her.
Once-weekly Trulicity is proven to help lower A1C. It lowers blood sugar from the first dose, and you could lose up to 10 pounds. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
We're USA Insulation, and our premium injection foam turns your cold and drafty house into a warm and toasty home. Call now and save $500 on whole home insulation.
USA Insulation.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. Oscar nominations are out for this year's Academy Awards.
DUNE and Netflix's The Power of the Dog lead the pack with a combined total of 22 nominations. Danya Backus has more from Los Angeles.
The Power of the Dog made a powerful impact on Academy members. The Netflix Western leads the pack with 12 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, and 4 acting nods, including Best Actor for Benedict Cumberbatch. He will go up against 2-time winner Denzel Washington for The Tragedy of Macbeth and Will Smith in King Richard. Javier Bardem from Being the Ricardos and Andrew Garfield from Tick, Tick, Boom round out the category. As one of the producers of King Richard, Smith is also up for a Best Picture nomination. The other films in the category: Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. The Power of the Dog's Jane Campion becomes the first woman to be nominated twice for Best Director. She lost in 1994 to Steven Spielberg for Schindler's List. He's also nominated again, this time for West Side Story. Mommy. Among the surprises, Kristen Stewart nabbed a Best Actress nomination for her role as Princess Diana in Spencer, beating out House of Gucci's Lady Gaga. Stewart will face Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, Penelope Cruz in Parallel Mothers, and Nicole Kidman for her role as Lucille Ball in Being the Ricardos. And Beyoncé picks up her first Oscar nomination for her original song Be Alive from King Richard. Danya Backus, CBS News, Hollywood.
Beyonce has some tough competition, though.
Among those nominated in the same category are Lin-Manuel Miranda for a song from Encanto and Billie Eilish for her song in the latest James Bond film.
The 94th Academy Awards will be held on March 27th.
And stay with us for a final check of your First Warn forecast.
You're watching Madison's fastest growing newscast, News 3 Now at 5.
Vi-Tense Golfland offers a free Top Tracer golf range experience. Obtain valuable shot information with warm-up, track your shot history with My Practice, play virtual golf, long drive, points game, go fish. Only at Vi-Tense Golfland.
Stop into Menards today during the Race to Savings sales event. Add comfort to any room of your home with new carpet. It's soft and luxurious and available in styles and colors that work with any decor. Save big on carpet from Marquee Industries. Protect and maintain your wood surfaces with Minwax stains and finishes. They provide a beautiful finish that lasts for years to come. Save big on Minwax products during Menards Race to Savings sale.
Save big money at Menards.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
Guys, do you suffer from erectile dysfunction? Now there's great news. Peak Performance for Men will help you regain your performance and confidence naturally. Peak Performance for Men uses an advanced form of acoustic wave therapy, clinically shown to open up and regrow blood vessels, restoring normal and natural functionability where it counts most. There are no needles, no surgery, and best of all, no pain. Call now and receive an ultrasound, your initial consultation, all for free, and over $300 value. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
Running a race is a lot like investing. It takes discipline, patience, and time. But most importantly, it takes endurance. Because in order to go the distance, you need to be prepared to get there. At the Burrish Group at UBS, we have a trusted advisor that's ready to go the extra mile with you every step of the way. Call the Burrish Group today.
Supply chain backlogs, inflation, agitation.
Here's an idea. If we make things here in America, supply chain issues won't be a thing anymore. That's exactly how we built the Bucks Arena, by having 80% of the materials come from Wisconsin. We did the same by paying higher wages. That's how you know, as your senator, I'll get things done. Raising people's wages, make things in America finally stand up to China. I'm Alex Lasry, and I approve this message because it's time to put more money in the pockets of working people.
Vitense Golfland offers 2 golf and multi-sport simulator suites. Play great golf courses with unmatched viewing clarity. Play different sports such as football and soccer. Have fun with Zombie Ball. Vitense Golfland provides simulator fun for everyone.
We've got a packed broadcast for you tonight. The latest as more states announce they will do away with mask mandates as the government readies 10 million doses for kids as young as 6 months old. Plus, the gender jobs gap. Men are returning to the workforce in record numbers, but why are so many women staying home? And an amazing story of an oncology nurse who continued to treat patients even after her own cancer diagnosis. That's all coming up here on the CBS Evening News.
Let's go back to Gary. Final check of the forecast.
We got a little sunshine out there. It's hazy sunshine. There's a live view from the Edgewater Skycam. You can see on Doppler track, not much in the way of precipitation across Wisconsin. Maybe a couple of flurries up in the central part of the state. We could see a few flurries or a little drizzle or freezing drizzle overnight into tomorrow, but nothing imminent, at least for southern Wisconsin. Temperatures right now are pretty mild. Upper 30s here in Madison, Janesville, mid to low 30s elsewhere across much of southern Wisconsin. Wind chills right now, not too much of a factor, although those winds will pick up during the day tomorrow. Look for temperatures to be in the lower 30s overnight with some drizzle, freezing drizzle or flurries by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's high temperature at 38. We'll turn colder on Thursday, warm up for Friday, and then turn colder for the weekend.
All right, Gary, and CBS Evening News is next. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.